What are the best Ichimoku Cloud settings to use for cryptocurrency trading? In this episode, we'll go through the weekly charts into the daily charts and zoom in to see, and we'll compare 3 different Ichimoku Cloud settings to find out which one's the best. We'll come back next week and we'll do comparisons to prove it to ourselves. Are you in for it? That's good. Let's jump in. First, we'll just brush by our disclaimer, and then we're going to jump into the cloud settings. So the Ichimoku Cloud was invented back in the 1960s when the markets were only open 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, just for those few hours. But because the cryptocurrency markets never close, some people suggest that different settings should be used from the standard. So the standard is 9/26/52/26. Sounds like a combination lock. But here is the standard for the Ichimoku Cloud system. And then there are some different settings to use down here, 30/60, 10/30/60/30, and 20/60/120/30 to double it because the crypto markets never close. And so we've had a few people go through and made comments below other videos saying that I should be changing my settings in the Ichimoku Cloud from the 9/26/52/26 here and try the other settings. Okay, I don't know. Let's try it out. So what I'm going to do now is have 3 different charts open, each with the correct settings, and we'll look at them through each different time frame and make a commentary on them. Then we'll come back in a week and do the same thing. In another week, we'll do the same thing, and we'll see what plays out over a bit of time. So right now we're looking at the weekly bars, and we're looking at the standard settings. So here we have the second set of settings, 10/30/60. And if we go back and forth, we can see that this just moves over a little bit, essentially. The cloud is much the same. When we go from one to the other, the cloud is much the same. We just sort of shift over to the side a little bit. So this pokes out of the cloud a little sooner on the standard settings. And the non-standard settings, we're still inside the cloud. Now, if we go to the double the settings, it's quite a bit different. The chart is, the cloud is quite a bit different here over on this side. If we go back and take a look at how this cloud is twisted to the positive on the new settings, and on the doubled settings, it's not twisted to the positive at all. And also I want to monitor where does the blue line and the red line cross over on these different settings. So for the crypto settings, we've got this so that it crosses over down here. For our standard settings, it crosses over at about the same time, although we've shifted through the cloud earlier. So let me clear this off. And that gives us some insight as to what we're seeing in the weekly. Now I want to go through the different time frames and get a perspective on this as well. Let's see. So we've got a few stragglers in checking it out. Traitor Rituto. I'll get fast at saying your name soon. I will. Now, looking at the standard settings for the daily, we can see that it is below the cloud. This is like a sell signal in a downtrend for it to come up and touch the cloud. And if it fades away from that, that's confirming a sell signal on the daily bars using the standard settings. Now, on the daily bars using the crypto settings, it's also a sell signal on a downtrend if it breaks down below these levels. Where we already have the blue line cross below the red, we've got a twist to the negative in the cloud. We are below the cloud. All we're looking for is, well, actually we have it, is this trailing indicator to be cutting through all 3 lines, the red, the blue, and the price line. So it's pretty negative on the daily for both of these. And again, if I go back and forth, to me, it just seems like the cloud changes its shape a little bit here. It gets a bit thicker and pushed off a bit. But the main difference is that this is sort of side shifted a bit more. And that's because of this third setting, or the final setting here, 26, rather than 30. This puts a bigger offset, and that's what we're seeing here, is this bigger offset. Now, if we go into the daily view and we look at the doubled stats, this has not twisted negative at all. The price is still inside the cloud, and the blue line crossed below the red line a few days ago. So this already has a much more negative view when we're looking at the crypto settings, and a much more negative view when we're looking at the standard settings. whereas the doubled settings still let us think that, or it's showing that it's more positive here on the daily view. So this is a difference that's important. If this starts to break through and goes down and proves itself that it was, a negative signal, and these were faster at identifying that negative signal, even on the 1-day view, I'm still leaning towards both of these settings and not the doubled setting. So let's zoom in and see what else we can find out on the 12-hour time frame. It is twisted to the negative in our standard setting. I go to the 12-hour time frame. Things are twisted to the negative in our 12-hour crypto settings. How do they compare now? The blue line crossed below the red, touched positive. It's crossed to the positive here now as we're going sideways in this. That's the standard. Now the crypto setting, much the same. The blue line is just crossed over. It's still below the cloud. It still could be a sell signal in a downtrend. And we'll get more of a confirmation of that if this blue line crosses down below the red line again. How's this one? Same thing. If the blue line crosses below the red line, this is confirming the sell signal in a downtrend so far. Now let's go into this doubled time frame and zoom in on this to the 12-hour. All right, this was giving us sort of a holding on to the buy signal on the daily frame, but on the 12-hour time frame, it has crossed below. It is also giving us a sell signal in a downtrend should this break down lower. So all of them on the 12-hour time frame are not the bear's friend, not the bull's friend rather. Let's go into the closer time frame now. 4-hour time frame, this is a buy signal in the Ichimoku Cloud because it's poked up through the cloud. The blue is above the red, got a twist to the positive. All is good here, but of course we can see that in this time frame it goes above and below the cloud quite a bit on this standard setting. So let's zoom it all the way back out so we get a standard or same view, but this time on the 12 or 4-hour bars. Zoom it back. Similar view time frame. There. Pull this back. So this is also giving us a positive signal. It is a buy signal out of this and a lot of whipsaw back and forth. Now, let's see what the double setting does. On the 4-hour time frame, pull it back. This is giving us a positive signal. So it was more positive on the daily view. It allowed us to have more of an optimistic view. And here on the 4-hour time frame, it's also giving us a positive view, but not, it's different. This cloud is thicker and is just barely twisting to the positive over on this side, whereas this is twisted to the positive bigger for the regular crypto settings. And it's pretty much the same for the standard settings. I don't know, one of those puzzles. Can you see 10 different things? Not really. And I'm not going to spend time digging into that. This is more different, and I want to pay attention to this. Now we're zooming into the 1-hour time frame, and sometimes this gives us the best signals in the short time frame, and we've seen that a couple times now. As this, give it to me, as this crossed there and crossed here, it was really confirming sell signals, and it really did nicely on it. Now it's the opposite. If this breaks out of here, of course, it's going to be confirming the buy signal, especially above our technical levels. But it's not until afterwards that are we going to know that this twist to the negative meant something on the 1-hour time frame in the standard settings. Let's clear all that stuff off. Now zoom into the 1-hour time frame on the crypto settings. And this is still looking the same, where it is looking like a buy signal, looking like it's a buy signal in an uptrend on the 1-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame looked like a buy signal. The 12-hour and the 1-day looked like sell signals on a downtrend. So as we're getting closer here, it's confirming, and I like that the 1-hour is confirming what the 4-hour said. And as we zoom in now to the doubled settings, would this have been more accurate and more helpful as this cracked down here? I still am kind of favoring the other settings. Even though this is looking pretty good, I don't find there's a huge difference actually. So let me know in the chat, do you find that there's a significant difference as we're going through this? I'll do this again next week and review these again to see what turned out, which one was right. Was the long-term stuff on the normal settings looking good, or was the long-term stuff on this doubled settings looking better? And we'll only be able to tell by following it through. But before we do that, I want to go back to the daily settings, and I'm only going to do this on the daily settings. Well, we'll see how it goes. But what I want to look at now is what was the cloud telling us all the way through this section here? Are we in something similar now? And by watching what the cloud did through here, now I want to compare it to that doubled setting and pull it all the way back. So this was like major bearish. Wow. It doesn't compare at all. Look at how bearish this was after prices broke down below here. It stayed a big green cloud. It stayed a big green cloud until prices broke below that. Then it stayed into a mean, nasty red cloud forever, all the way through until this finally broke. Really, it took a long time for this to turn into a positive signal here. Whereas the standard setting got right skinny and it gave us the signal much, much earlier. So if this gave us the buy signal much, much earlier and it's giving us a potential sell signal now, I want to pay attention to that. And that about wraps it up for this show. I just wanted to do a quick comparison between this, that, and the other thing in the Ichimoku Cloud specifically. I'll tune in next week and I'll do another one of these, so be sure to hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. Oh, and if you haven't already, be sure to head over to the website. There's a link down below, intro-to-cryptos.ca, and sign up for the free training there. Then you'll be on the same page as what we're talking about here. You get access to a free webinar. And it includes a 1-hour webinar with an overview of our complete trading system. And there's no catch. All the free stuff, our Discord chat, and this live stream, really, it's all you need to learn how to trade the system that I follow. I give it away because I know beginners need it. I'm giving it to my former self, myself 20 years ago. I wish I would have learned this stuff in this order 20 years ago. It would save me so much money, so much time. So you get a complete overview of our complete system. And head over to the website there and sign up. And I will see you over on Discord. Ciao. And I'll tune in for the next live stream. Bye for now.